we've talked about the culture wars. Do you see how the culture wars have affected high school education, in particular history, since you taught history?
Well, I see how it affects history. Students aren't being taught about any of the great qualities of our country. They're not being taught what were American values of the past. Talking to like my parents, my father-in-law, they're not taught. When they were growing up, they were taught that America was a great country. Teachers did not focus on trying to teach everything that our country had done that was wrong. They focused on a country where we had the freedom to pursue their interests, that if they worked hard, they could achieve. I think today a lot of students are not taught that our country is great. I know they're not taught that our country is great. We're often taught a story of victimhood, the freest government that's ever existed in world history, but they're not taught that. They're taught that this is a government that has oppressed, a government that has made victims out of people, and that is something that has to be fought, something that has to be undone. They're taught basically not to like their history, not to like their culture. They're taught that every time we have gone to war, it was for a bad reason. The United States is a unique country in that we really have not attacked people unless we were provoked. And when we have conquered land from people, we've then turned around and paid them for it. A lot is made out of us stealing land from Mexico, in the Mexican-American War. Mexico did invade Texas. I believe it's called the Thornton Affair, where they attacked U.S. troops and killed off like 7 American troops. That's usually ignored, in American history class. This is back at a time when they thought that if you were invaded, you had a right to respond, to protect your people. And students today aren't taught basically that even the right to life, the right to self-defense. If you can't defend yourself as a nation, can you defend yourself as an individual? I know in a high school setting, if a fight breaks out between 2 students, even if one is an instigator and the other one is defending himself or herself, both students are suspended and punished equally. What kind of lesson does that teach about your right to defend yourself? What kind of lesson does that teach about your value as an individual not to be hurt, not to be molested, if you're punished for defending yourself?
Do you address those in your book, The Last Marine?
I do. I want to show that I think the school system today is producing a lot of children that are taught to be compliant, to be submissive, obey the rules, but they're not taught why rules are right. They're not taught how rules help them. If anything happens to you, they'd say, hey, the teachers, the school, we're here to protect you. But then they don't protect them. If the student protects himself, herself, they're punished for it. If you have a right to life, you have a right to self-defense. If you have a generation growing up that does not believe in a right to life, in a right to self-defense, what's going to happen when that's challenged? When they're adults and they run the nation, what will happen to the nation when that is challenged? What will they do?